Joining us live with his thoughts on the appointment and Toronto's new city council is Adam Vaughan, principal at Navigator, who was also a former city councillor. So thank you very much for joining us. Let's kind of break this down, go over it, one by one. 4 deputy mayors: Jennifer McKelvey remaining in place, Osman Malik, Amber Morley, Mike Cole. What are your thoughts?
Well, Osman Malik has taken the statutory position. There must be a deputy mayor. We saw the reason why when John Tory stepped aside. So she's assumed sort of the right hand of Mayor Chow now. The other 3 are symbolic in nature, but they're important for a couple of reasons. One is that Olivia Chow doesn't have a solid majority on council, so she has to start pulling in the middle. And McKelvey and Cole in particular come from those sorts of constituencies. She's also distributed them evenly across the 4 community councils. So she's building her sort of 15 votes that she can rely on, and they've now sort of signed up to play with Team Chow for the short term. The question is, how long do they stay there?
Okay, so planning and housing, I don't know how much of a bigger topic this could be. Councillor Gord Perks is going to be the new chair, and then Brad Bradford will be vice chair. What are your thoughts on this?
So the chair's position is important because it sets the agenda. And I know that Mayor Chow has made a number of ambitious promises and commitments around housing. And that's the committee that they're going to have to move through as they get to executive or as they go on to full council. Gord Perks is someone who has extensive budgetary background at City Hall. He's sort of the quarterback for the left bloc at City Hall. He's a very knowledgeable, very smart councillor. His position there is critical because one of Chow's big planks is to purchase low-income, low-rent buildings from the private sector and effectively nationalize them or bring them into the Toronto Community Housing Committee's sort of family of units. And the goal there is twofold. One, to protect low-income tenants with good rents. And the second one is to build the asset base of the city so she can borrow some more dollars to do some of the more other ambitious plans she has. And Gord has sort of articulated that strategy, and now Gord Perks will be in charge of executing it through council.
Okay, what about this? Jamal Myers takes over as TTC chair from John Burnside.
Jamal doesn't drive. Jamal is a representative from Scarborough who relies on transit to get around. And Scarborough, as we know, with the Scarborough LRT going, or the Scarborough Rapid Transit line going down, there's a big capital push that has to be executed in Scarborough. Scarborough residents have long complained they haven't got the transit service they need, and they're right. There's been a lot of debate about transit, not a lot of building of transit in Scarborough. But he also knows one thing, which is also critically important, is that most trips on the TTC in Scarborough happen inside Scarborough. They don't all come downtown. And while the subway push has been loud and proud, certainly from the Ford brothers, the reality is that most Scarborough residents need to get around Scarborough. And so he has an acute awareness of this. As I said, doesn't own a car, doesn't drive, and although he's a rookie, he's taken on a very big task.
And John Burnside is going to serve on the Toronto Police Services Board alongside Amber Morley, Lily Chang.
Amber Morley is the one to watch there. I mean, John Burnside is a former police officer, has intimate knowledge of how the force works, and that sort of will steady the folks over at police headquarters. But Amber Morley has come to council with an activist agenda around the police. She comes out of one of the new cohorts. So there's a large number of Black and African Canadian members of council. She brings that perspective to the police service board, and that's important. Diversity matters in the city, and how the diverse communities are policed matter. And so she'll be an interesting voice to watch on that position.
Shelley Carroll, new budget chief.
Same as the old chief. She did this. She filled this function under David Miller, so she's intimately involved in how the budget works. The other thing is that Shelley Carroll's a Liberal. Olivia Chow has put an office together without very many connections to Ottawa. This may be the one connection to Ottawa, and on budget, that's going to matter.
Okay, this is our last question as we wrap up. We all want the city to win, regardless of who you voted for mayor. Are these the players to have the winning team for Mayor Olivia Chow?
The key is that she has access to about 10 to 12 votes that she can rely on day in and day out. Paula Fletcher and some of the other councillors, Chris Moyes as well, who have been elected by Progress Toronto and effectively are members of the new Democratic team. The key is the mushy middle, and she has to give it direction and shape, but also responsibility. So Brad Bradford being appointed vice chair is a bit of a nod. It'll be interesting to see whether an opposition builds quickly against the mayor or whether she has co-opted the centre in such a way that she has her sort of a bit of a honeymoon period, a bit of free run at council for the next few weeks.
Principal at Navigator, former city councillor Adam Vaughan. Hey, thank you very much for your insight.
Not a problem.
I really appreciate it.